You sit down across from someone new. The conversation flows, they laugh at your jokes, and their aesthetic matches exactly what you've been looking for. On paper, everything is perfect. We often mistake this early chemistry for deep compatibility. It is easy to be charmed by a curated social media presence, an impressive job title, or an effortless personality. But the honeymoon phase eventually hits a wall. The texts slow down to a trickle. Conflict is avoided. You sit in the same room and realize you have nothing of substance to discuss. This model illustrates a multi-layered sphere. Most dating energy is spent analyzing this thin, illuminated outer shell. We treat a partner like a pre-packaged product, entirely focused on the surface, while the dense, complex core remains hidden in shadow. A harmonious relationship requires active construction rather than a lucky discovery. Before you can accurately evaluate the person sitting across from you, you have to run an audit on yourself. Notice what happens in this diagram. If you enter a relationship without a firm grasp of your own non-negotiables and values, your identity will collapse to accommodate whoever you happen to be dating. Giving up your boundaries results in a dynamic where you are simply mirroring an ideal that belongs to someone else. Self-awareness provides the only reliable filter to stop the cycle of pleasing the wrong person and recognize true alignment when it actually appears. Once the initial excitement fades, you hit the interaction layer. Here, daily communication habits determine whether the connection survives. Many modern relationships rely heavily on text-based dating, but reading words on a screen strips away tone and empathy. A flatly written "okay" can easily be misread as anger, leading to a cascade of assumptions. When real friction inevitably arises, this lack of communication skills becomes a critical failure point. People who struggle with emotional processing often panic. Rather than articulating their needs, they default to the silent treatment, or they simply disappear. When someone stops responding, the silence often triggers a reflex in the victim to search for their own mistakes. However, ghosting is typically a bypass. It happens when a person's inability to process the discomfort of a difficult conversation overrides their basic respect for the connection. How someone handles a crisis and treats you when things get difficult provides a far more accurate test of compatibility than how charming they were on the first date. At the absolute center of the compatibility sphere is emotional intimacy. You cannot reach this core without complete vulnerability. Cultural myths actively block this intimacy. Men are frequently conditioned to act as an unbreakable wall, taught that expressing emotional struggle is a personal failure. Women, meanwhile, navigate the expectation to suppress their own needs and passively wait to be pursued to maintain a sense of peace. Lowering your defenses and exposing your true self without a guarantee of acceptance requires a level of courage that many people spend their lives avoiding. Matchmakers often emphasize a hard truth. We fall in love with personalities, but we must live with characters. Pushing past carefully constructed texts and forcing the conversation into deep, vulnerable territory is the only mechanism available to expose the true character of the person you are committing your time to. Internet dating culture is saturated with tropes that define a high-value partner by superficial markers like wealth, social status, or the ability to play hard to get. Actual high value is defined by integrity, humility, and the self-awareness to treat others with basic respect, even when facing a setback. To find those traits, you have to confront the fear of rejection. We often treat a no as an indictment of our personal worth. Watch the path of this line. When it strikes a solid wall, it doesn't break. It instantly pivots to an unobstructed path. Rejection is a highly efficient protective mechanism that forces you away from a bad match. Redefining your values and stripping away the fear of a closed door allows you to stop chasing people who require you to play games. A lasting partnership isn't something you simply discover. It is something that must be earned. The right partner is actively built through shared effort, a willingness to compromise, and total alignment on core values. If you are currently single right now, use this valuable time to truly enjoy the process of being alone. Discovering your own identity and learning to be comfortable in your own presence is safer than being trapped in a toxic relationship with a mismatched character. A lifelong relationship requires looking past the surface and doing the difficult work